Yeah, I've been wrestling with something over the last year in regards to being a believer who is passionately pursuing knowing God more every day in regards to miracles. And so I believe miracles are possible. I believe God can do whatever he wants today into the future. And so obviously creation itself is a miracle. The resurrection is a miracle. The very fact that I'm standing here as a Christian today is a miracle. Yeah, I've been wrestling with the idea of, I have friends who I deeply, deeply love who are excited to go out onto the streets and do miracles and deliverance and all this to bring, create believers and all that. And I've been wrestling with that idea.
So these are other Christians, are you saying?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been wrestling with kind of that act of like, let's go out and do miracles, especially with verses like Matthew 24:24 that talk about these false Christs and false prophets performing great signs and wonders for today. And yeah, I was just wondering if you could give us some insight.
Well, are these people really doing miracles? Do you see them doing them?
I have some that have said they've witnessed true miracles.
Okay, but when they say, when they go, so let's go out one night and do miracles, and you go with them, what happens?
Well, to be honest, I haven't been out with them yet.
All right.
Just the opportunity hasn't come yet, but yeah.
All right, well, I mean, you could go and see what happens.
Yeah.
Right,
sure.
Okay. Christians are going to argue over whether or not the sign gifts still exist today.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I follow my mentor, Dr. 𝗦𝗨𝗢𝗣𝗒, who said this, that the fact of miracles is such that God can do a miracle whenever he wants. Of course he can. But his view was that the sign gifts, that people have been given certain gifts, like say the gift of healing, he doesn't think they exist anymore, but that doesn't mean God can't heal someone. And the reason he says this is because he's done some analysis on the scriptures and he thinks those sign gifts have passed away. He's not saying miracles don't occur today. He's saying that do people have the gift of miracles, okay? Now, Christians can argue over this. I don't take a firm position either way. But I did notice that years ago when Oral Roberts years ago thought or claimed to have the gift of healing, he was building a hospital. If you have the gift of healing, you don't build hospitals, you empty them, right? And so even in the New Testament, miracles were never under the control of the individual. They were always under the control of God. Even Paul at a certain point couldn't heal. He's saying, pray for so-and-so. Timothy, take a little wine for your stomach. Why doesn't he just heal these? Because he didn't have control over it. When God wanted to manifest miracles through him, he did. But he didn't have the gift of healings. He didn't have the gift of miracles to say, tonight I'm going to go out and do a bunch of miracles. If the apostles didn't have that power, why do we think we have it today? So I would be asking them a bunch of questions and observe what they're doing. But too often when this kind of thing happens, people are looking for miracles rather than the Messiah. Miracles are supposed to point to the Messiah. If they're all pointing to the event of miracles, that's the wrong approach. Miracles are supposed to point back to God, not, oh, I have this power to do miracles. In fact, you remember what Jesus said to the people that went out and started to heal people? He sent the 70 out, and they come back, and they were all excited that they could cast demons out. And what did Jesus say? Don't be all excited about casting demons out. Be excited that your names are written in heaven. That's what it's all about anyway. That's the purpose, to show people the message is true, not the miracle itself.